unfortunate. I'm looking at your document here.
Okay,
We
Yeah, where
so
probably
should
need
I go? Where should I
we
go?
probably need to read this.
Yeah.
well, well, I gave you guys the copy, but what I wanted to do really quickly because I'm gonna have to leave, and I
Yep,
have
yep,
19% on my computer. But
yep, yep.
if you go down, Monica, to the bottom, let me see. Oh, one of the things, yeah, the very bottom right there. The last up one more and one before that. Sorry, one
No
right there.
worries. No
So
worries.
this is the way that I am seeing that this project is how it was run is that okay, wait, actually, sorry. I'm going to have you go back up to number I want to show you the four neighborhoods. Go back up to keep going up. Let's see. Keep going. Oh, it's like up at it's at the beginning again. Sorry.
Okay. That's all
Okay,
right.
right. Stop at number 7.
Okay.
So these are the four different neighborhoods that our focus is on. So year 1, which was 2022, is when they started this process, which is called the asset mapping process. In that asset mapping process, if you go down one slide, there's there's there was this was a this was there were 500 residents that were brought in by 60 community partners, and in that process they talked to their community, did all these things, figured out that the areas that are highlighted in the right: agriculture and gardening, culinary food and cooking, community beautification, street cleanup, community gardens and farms, and food security, were the top. They rose to the top of the list as what people wanted to work on. So and this is in the focus of their neighborhood. So then if you go down 2 slides.
Was this just in LA or just in California?
Yeah, this is one guy
Wow,
whose name is
wow.
this is one guy who now is working for the Annenberg Foundation,
So
and
this
he's the
is
one.
okay. So this is the roadmap we need to introduce to Detroit.
No, so this is the roadmap I created because I was working as well, I've been working, and right now we're going to story map it. But what I wanted to say is the first thing that I did is that I cut the map of the neighborhood is big. So I
Uh-huh.
cut it to the area that had the largest number of nonprofit helpers in the neighborhood so that we could take a look at it as a 15-minute city. So I
Oh,
divided the
okay.
neighborhood to
Okay.
see how a 15-minute city worked in that one section of the neighborhood.
Wow. So
So
this
if
is
you
your
keep
work.
Yes. So
Oh,
if you keep
wow.
going down,
Awesome.
Monica, now
Okay.
just flip
So
through
this is
here.
what we'll want to
Yeah,
highlight.
right. This is why I wanted to show you that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
this is
yeah,
what
yeah.
I've been. Okay, so if you actually, I'm gonna
This is
have you from
uncanny.
there. Here,
This
just
this is
go.
uncanny.
Okay. If you go to the next slide right after.
Okay.
These were the areas that I did a whole series of interviews with every single one of those leaders who were in the NGOs, because as I told you, we weren't brought in to meet that 500 group of people who were residents in the community. So I had to start differently on this specific project. And so I did a meeting with 19 of these leaders, and or there might have been more, and out of the 60 who were the closest connected to the project. And the areas that they told us, one of them was an educator, and they had a series of charter schools that work with little children, which, as you see in the picture, which actually is a picture from Placemaking X, but it had little kids like ages like it was like kindergarten,
Right,
preschool, small
right.
kids. Anyway, so
Perfect.
these charter schools were embedded in different parts of this neighborhood, and there were four of them. So one of the things that they needed is, because they're charter schools, the streets were completely like not there's not even a 15-minute zone, and these little kids and their parents, they had to
Going across. Yeah,
rush them in and shove them into the gated area so that they could get checked into the school, and they couldn't even walk the street normally because it
uh-huh,
didn't have any protections in place. So
right,
the biggest thing that we saw is that there needed to be urban tacticalism in the street to create a safe passages was one of the
right,
first things.
right,
Then the
right.
other thing that we did was we looked at all the urban agriculture, and there were four different areas where some kind of urban agriculture was happening. One of the areas, the UDOT or the DOT in LA actually allowed the side of a freeway to become an orchard, and they did this exchange, and this guy from what's called the Pico Union Project was able, and they said that they could do all of them, like they could turn all of these sides of land into orchard areas, etc. Anyway, and so it's something that's at the beginning, but he created one. So there's one orchard, a garden area along the side, and then there was this whole public market development, which I think I've described, and we've created a whole book about the public market development, me
Mm-hmm.
and the team that I've been working with. And then cooperative development was the outcome of the public markets. They wanted everybody to cooperatize so that they would save the immigrant communities, because in a cooperative, there's not, as a corporation, they are safe once you are cooperatized to have their jobs and be working. So
Right.
that's one of the things that is still like being worked on in development, but we found the right people now for each of these processes. And then if you go down, there was a launch. If you keep going, let's see. Oh, oh yeah, we were going to talk about each of these, then go keep going down one more.
Okay.
Sorry.
No
So,
worries.
so,
This
so,
we
so
we
I don't want to interrupt, but here we just started something over the last couple of weeks with Hamtramck, which is just north of the northern end of Detroit, and this would fit there perfectly. So there's our test case. There's our
Right.
test.
And we still, so there's four projects. We started the thing is we're now at the other end at the beginning, where I've actually created action groups in North Long Beach, which is the second neighborhood, and now we're able to do what we did in this neighborhood is kind of the end of what needed to be started with residents, so
Uh-huh.
that again their agency could happen. And that's where, okay, I'm just gonna go
Okay.
through
Okay.
to the
Yep.
end one more time,
Okay.
because I only have 15 seconds. These are all the people that we met, and I figured out what it is that they needed. If you keep going down, sorry, we had and did like this whole ideal neighborhood, which I love doing this, which helps people to focus on place
I
and
love that.
recognize that. And so that was a process that I did with James Rojas. And also I had Cote Sorens, who I worked with in Seattle. She does the graphic mapping. So she helped me to create the ideal
Cool.
neighborhood map. And
Cool.
then go all the way down to, well, actually go down to 20 really quick. 21. That's how, do you see that division in the
Yeah.
middle?
Yeah.
I did the right hand side because, and this thing actually shows, because we mapped the institutions, the places, everything that was there, where the markets were, etc. We also did a study, and we showed that there, like you were talking about, that has to do with the greenways. There's a couple of areas that have places to ride a bike, and it's like at the end and at the top, but there's nothing that goes through that you
Right.
can connect them, so it's not connected at all. But
Uh-huh.
you can go all the way down to the bottom really quick again, back where we start, where I had you go.
Okay.
Okay, so go to 58. 58, this is the way that I've seen, this is the way that they have worked from me seeing from the very beginning. And the United Way pulled together and had folks come out and do like they had they had a bank group come out and do a whole study of where the money is, and this is all in the asset mapping project. They pulled together all these community partners and they pulled together 500 residents.
Wow.
And the way that they were doing this asset mapping was to asset map developing the community partner orgs, and then they wanted to develop community projects. So now if you go, and then there were all these unintended consequences, which I showed, which one of the leaders became sick. There was an exchange of management. There were fires that happened in California. And then there's the raids of the police. That's what those four, and it shifted things. But if you go down to the bottom, or down one more, I'm sorry, one more.
Okay.
This is the way that I propose that it should have started. And this is what I believe would create a
Oh,
agile
you gotta,
system.
you,
And
that's
this is
great.
where we start with the 500 residents in an action network, develop what's called MOIs,
I
which
love that.
I
Yeah.
learned that from the I learned this from the Blue Zones group, is that they develop mois, which are, I guess, in Japan, folks have a group of people, about 5 people, that are put together as kids, and their whole lives they support each other.
Mm.
That, like, they become, like, in all ways in life, no matter how they all turn out over life, they still are a connected group. So anyway, in neighborhoods, we need to develop these mois, and the way that it
Moise, how do you
happened,
spell that?
MOI or MIO.
Oh,
It's one of
Moise.
the
Yeah.
two. Yeah,
Okay.
Moy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but then the thing was that, and we did this. So the reason why I know is we already did an action development in the second neighborhood because I got to be a part of the whole process and meet the residents. So I said, this needs to start first. And we have a series of like 6 action groups where the neighbors get their own agency to tell
There we
what
go.
they want done,
Mm.
which we've already done through the asset mapping, but who wants to work on what? So now these groups are formed, and those people, no matter if there's a fire, no matter if there's a thing, they have a project that they're developing along the way.
Right.
And that bigger system, which are supposed to be the enablers, and this falls into the Sheila Foster enabling communities, where she shows us in code that co-governance needs to change, and the co-governance needs to be allowed for this agency process to occur.
Yeah.
There needs to be a different way that these NGOs and the United Way are enabling the community to do what they need to do to build that platform. And so this is the part where we're flipping the system. And like I say on the left, place based, an onion model where the self first and the family and neighborhood are friend, and then you build the long term
There we
capacity
go.
building approach. And
Right.
then I told them on the right, enabling use, opening access to abandon. I said that the one of the things that NGOs and the lead organization can do is they can work at the political level to
Mm.
help open up access of abandoned and vacant property to create positive value for the community, connecting
Mm.
with the state, private actors, opening up pathways so that the community can keep going and don't get held up on those issues. And then I'm using the model of the role of placemaking. If we look at something similar to this guy Egwich, where in 7 weeks or less you can transform your neighborhood, and
Mhm.
he has these steps that people go through, and it's the preparing, the knowledge, the plan of action, the makeover, and then the evaluation and learning. So this is where we become more agile to actually do this process, and that's basically, this is what the learning I have, and then hopefully I will get to keep trying out the process, but it all has to do developed by the way in which whether the United Way keeps on going. And right now we're going to be story mapping, like I told you. But anyway, from the work with looking at Egwich, looking at Sheila Foster's co-governance model, and all these things, it all comes together. And I also used Mindy Fullilove, Urban Alchemy, in the very beginning. If you go back to the very top,
So,
sorry,
so I'm
one
not
more.
getting.
How do we get you to use our Finco design process as your platform?
Well, we can put this together, but let me show you really quick one more time. Go down, sorry. I just want to show you that I'm also using Mindy Full of Love because
So
she's one of the.
here's a third
Wait, hold
element.
on.
Here's a
Which
third
slide?
element.
Which slide? Wait, hold on, Jim. Which
Keep
slide?
going. Keep going down. Sorry.
Okay.
Down more. Let's see. Oh, there we go. At 19. 19 or it start out at 18. Sorry.
Okay,
Okay,
sorry.
so
What were you saying, Jim?
let me interrupt this thought and leave you with this thought as well. You remember our situation in Pontiac, and
Yes.
you remember that there was no leadership capable of implementing at that point.
Yes.
And you remember the Phoenix Center and the Ottawa Towers,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that was turning into a grift. Well,
Yes.
the county seat of Oakland County, which is the richest county in the state of Michigan and one of the top performing counties in the country, um, operated outside of the city of Pontiac for the last 2 or 3 decades due to an individual who thought that he could reinvent the county seat somewhere else. That now has changed with his demise and the new county executive. And they have purchased the Phoenix Center and the 2 Ottawa Towers for, I
They
think,
demolished the
for
Phoenix.
$20 million. Okay, they're going to spend $500 million. They tore down the Phoenix Center parking garage so that they can get direct access into downtown from Woodward, and in
For
that
cars.
will be in that will destroy the walkability of the downtown, because that actually protected the downtown
Yeah.
from 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 the inevitable. And that's a 2-lane street, and it'll always be a 2-lane street, so they really shot themselves in the foot. But nonetheless, and to end on a high note, they have $500 million to spend, and I just found out
Okay.
here what they could spend it on. And we're talking to one of the individuals who's responsible for the program. The chief executive officer, the county executive, has taken himself out of the mix. He's not in charge because he doesn't want to fail. He recognizes that he's dealing with the Black community, and he's not Black, and neither are most of the people who work for Oakland County. But nonetheless, he's bringing 700 of his workers into the downtown, thinking that's going to change the downtown. Of course, it's not going to change the downtown at all. And so they're trying. Gentrification was brought up at the city council meeting last night, and that's the dog is out of the house now. We have a way in which I think we could introduce this to our friend that is charged with making this happen, Sean Carlson. And we'll just see as we go along here if that makes any sense. Okay, because
Okay.
that's United Way is a big player in this city, in Pontiac, a big player. And in fact, they're expanding right now their footprint. So they're in the news, and they're doing things. Nothing of any advancement like you're describing here. Okay, that's for
Right.
sure. But I think they would be open to it. And what we had said to Sean Carlson is we wanted to take a floor at the Ottawa Towers dedicated to education.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we could find ourselves in a joint venture with United Way downtown Pontiac in such an effort that you're describing here. So I'll just end it there, and we'll pick it up when it makes sense to pick it up.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So not to interrupt.
Oh no, it's okay. I just wanted to show if you go up one, sorry, I'll just show you that and then we can talk about it again later because I have 9% now. But this lady compelled my imagination in a huge way. She created this periodic table of elements of urban restoration, and I decided I'm going to create the whole periodic table
I
of
love that.
the whole periodic table of elements. And so I've been working on this for years and pulling together what I see as really important things that have to do with like even the 256 uh like patterns in the pattern language, the like I've been aggregating a lot of different things, but these first set, which are like keeping the whole city in mind, finding what you're for, unpuzzling the fractured space, unslumming all the neighborhoods, showing solidarity with all life, making a mark, strengthening the region, creating meaningful places, and collaborating or celebrating your accomplishments. Those were the 9 elements that she used. So if you go down, it just shows how I interpreted those 9 elements into the project that we were working on in the United Way.
Awesome.
So it shows
Wow.
like how we started and like uh
AI,
what
AI,
what about AI?
uncanny AI. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh boy.
okay.
Oh boy. Oh my God.
Anyway,
Oh my
um
God.
I have to
Oh my
go.
God. Yeah,
Okay.
of
And I
course.
feel like we barely started the conversation, so let's talk again soon. And what I did hear come out of today was we're going to work together on a Detroit conference thing. I can actually, my whole team, which if you go to the very top, the group of people that I worked with that are all in it came to me to help with Placemaking US is this group of people, and like they help present and they show like we can bring them in to help present the work on that day. And then we also I can also Norma, I can invite Norma, the folks who were in the Prosperity Network from the United Way as well, to see if they are interested in coming and sharing. um anyway, because we are going to build a story map. That's our next thing. Do you know when the event is in Detroit
The
for
event,
2026?
it's on in
June.
June 2nd or 3rd, or I'm
No,
not sure.
no, no. I believe it's the 20th or something. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
And
And
are
that's
we?
2026, right?
Yes,
Okay, so we have enough time to build this whole
we do.
project.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
It's
sounds good.
the exact dates are June 24th through 26th.
24 through 26.
And
Okay,
And
great.
and wait,
and
there's
and,
something to think about here.
and the Canadian Bridge opening will be undetermined yet. So it could be falling in that same time. So we might be able to tie that in to something.
I want to show you one more thing. This is did you have any more slides to show me? Show?
No, but I also realized, so I was given 25 groups to do technical assistance with in Michigan. I sent letters to them. I've had a few people respond back, and we were through Justice 40 initiative, or what's called Elevate Michigan. But it would be great to maybe I could work with you guys since I'm now alone on this process.
Yes. Yes.
So let's have a talk about that too. I forgot about that.
Okay.
You'll never be alone.
You're not alone with us. Hell
You'll
no.
never be alone.
Yes.